What next? Look at these out. I like the way this is pacing still. I might be able to eat lunch or stream. Oh, okay, cool. Oh shit, yeah. I know what I'm doing now. Yeah. I like Eric.
And this is a breakdown of the trailer for Captain America: Brave New World. The
W-Man.
America film starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson and Harrison Ford as President Ross, coming February 2025.
Oh. So we completely. Oh yeah, Sony innit? See now. I feel like General Ross in Sony's Hulk movies and that, cold. He would have been a great fit. But I ain't mad at the picks right now. I ain't mad at it. This is a fire poster too.
Let's go through this trailer shot by shot to break down all the big details you missed. Here we go. The trailer opens with Sam Wilson meeting President Thaddeus Ross.
Wilson, thanks for coming in. Well, thank you for the invite, sir.
How did he go from general to president though? How did that happen? I might need to watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier again, man. Or Falcon and Winter Soldier, sorry. I don't know how this is connected.
I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look. They said gotta lose the mustache or lose the election.
Harrison Ford now plays Thaddeus Ross. The character was previously played by William Hurt from 2008's Incredible Hulk. Plays Thaddeus Ross.
The character was previously played by... Look at him, bro. That is such a fitting role for him, bro. From General Ross to Red Hulk, I imagine he would have smashed it. But shit happens, you know.
William Hurt from 2008's Incredible Hulk to 2016's Captain America: Civil War, and its smaller appearances in Infinity War.
I'm saying, what have we done? Why have we just completely chalked off this man's role in the MCU?
Or Endgame and Black Widow. William Hurt passed away in 2022. Harrison Ford has long been Infinity War, Endgame, and Black Hulk to 2016's Captain America: Civil War, and its smaller appearances in Infinity War, Endgame, and Black Widow. William Hurt passed away in 2022. Harrison Ford.
Well, God rest your soul. Rest in peace to you, sir. I never knew that. They had me hot when I found out it weren't you, bro. As you just seen. That's tough. That is very unfortunate, man.
Ford has long been a figure suited to this genre, though. In the 1990s, he shifted from Indiana Jones films to playing Jack Ryan in Tom Clancy movies like Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. And while this never happened in any of Harrison Ford's Clancy movies, Jack Ryan does become the U.S. president at some point in the books. It gets crazy. But
if you bought a car between 2014 and 2021, go put the registration plate number in this form.
Of course, Harrison Ford then, in 1997, appeared as the president in Air Force One. And that's the kind of, like, president equals action star nostalgia that I think Marvel is aiming for by putting Harrison Ford as president in this movie.
Get off my plane.
Thaddeus Ross was originally a general eager to bring back the Super Soldier program that created Captain America as he sought to contain the Hulk in the 2008 film, and he ended up unleashing Emil Blonsky as a juiced-up super...
W movie. And this scene, smoke. This dog here, little man, he was on violence. Every chance he got, he wanted to get out Hulk. And yeah, he kept trying. He was about it still.
Soldier who ended up taking an additional serum with Bruce Banner's blood that turned him into Abomination. And Abomination came back in She-Hulk. But the scientist who aided in that process was Samuel Stearns, aka Mr. Blue, played by Tim Blake Nelson, who returns in this movie as the green-skinned, hopefully large-headed, the leader. Yes, a full 17 years later, which is
yes, because I was sitting there and I saw this bit and I was like, oh, his head's getting bigger. Is he going to turn into the leader? But then we saw nothing. We heard nothing. There was no follow-up at all. So seeing this gasses me.
Really nuts to me. Now, in Captain America: Civil War, Thaddeus Ross was the Secretary of State, and he was trying to rein in the Avengers after the Battle of Sokovia in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and what was then the latest conflict in Lagos that opened Civil War. So when he says that...
Lagos, please, Lagos.
We've had differences in the past. That's what he's referring to. At some point, Sam joined Natasha and Steve while they were basically government fugitives. And when Ross brings that up now, I love how Anthony Mackie just, like, lets his face drop. Like, yeah, I haven't forgotten. Now, last year in Secret Invasion, the US president was established as President Ritson, played by Dermot Mulroney, but it seems like Thaddeus Ross has now beaten Ritson in the most recent presidential election. We last saw Sam Wilson in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in April 2021 when he was dealing with the weight of Steve Rogers giving him the shield at the end of Endgame, and he teamed up with Bucky Barnes to fight the Super Soldier Serum-empowered Flag Smashers, as well as US agent John Walker. That series ended with Sam embracing the title of Captain America with a new suit built for him by the Wakandans.
Oh no, that's a completely different actor. I was about to say, I swear at the end of the movie he got taken by that same woman that was in the Agatha All Along trailer, but that is actually a completely different woman. She's rounding up bare people on her deep actually. Okay.
But this movie's going to put him in an even newer, bluer suit, yet we will see some early mission that will show him in a version of the white suit from the Wakandans. The whole idea of vibranium versus a more powerful metal is going to be an important issue in this movie. As Sam enters the White House, President Ross stands between portraits of James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. On the far left is a portrait of Dolly Madison, who saved some important founding documents when the British burned the White House in the War of 1812. And on the far right, John Tyler, who took over the presidency after William Henry Harrison died after just a few months in office. And I kind of feel like these two on the far left and right might tell us something about this movie, like a White House being destroyed and a very, very short-term US president. Sam and Ross joking about his changed appearance reminds us of the moment in Iron Man 2 when Tony Stark and James Rhodes had that line,
"Look, it's me, I'm here to deal with it, let's move on."
Making a reference to the recasting in that Senate hearing. Thaddeus Ross then gives a speech to supporters behind bulletproof glass panels, and while modern presidents often do this for big outdoor settings as Secret Service protocol, the fact that these panels are so close and the camera focuses on them so clearly just tells us how unstable things are in America in the MCU right now. All the campaign signs read, "Ready, Ross!" The others show his photo rendered in an artsy way, kind of like a monochromatic version of the Obama 2008 Hope poster, but we don't see any vice president listed on any of the signs. I assume this would be like Ross's victory speech. Now Ross continues,
You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation,
Work with me, Sam.
Now, some inserts here hint at some military action. Let's break it down. We see some Japanese F-35s, and on the radar screen, we see what looks like Japanese fighter jets heading toward the 5th Fleet in what looks like a hostile action. Yes, they might be on a mission together, but why would they be flying toward a US aircraft carrier? The Japanese and the US are allies, both in the real world and what seems like at the beginning of this movie, so what's going on here? Well, I'll tell you what they're fighting over. Tiamat! Yes, they are here in the Indian Ocean. That is the corpse of the dead celestial Tiamat from the Eternals film back in 2021.
I know! They've had this sitting for so long. So long. When I saw the Eternals, I was like, what? So there's just this big fucking celestial thing sitting in the fucking ocean and no one's seen it or mentioned it. I feel like in terms of all the other movies and TV shows and shit, yeah, they're all going on in our time. They just don't touch or talk about certain things that's going on in our time. So it makes me feel like this has all happened prior or during Endgame, or literally just after Endgame where everyone's blimped back and whatnot. But this has been something no one's spoken about. No one's touched on it. Nothing at all since the Eternals. So I just thought, was the Eternals a movie where it was like, this is happening in, I don't know, our universe, but a different world in our universe or Saturn? I don't know. It was too confusing because no one ever spanned back on it. So I just thought, okay, well then clearly that's not a thing. There's been plenty of times where we've left Earth, come back to Earth, gone off world, come back onto world. We've had a huge pattern around the fucking world. And we don't see this thing. So now I'm like, what we doing, man? Is it too late? I don't know.
This guy's technically just been sitting here dormant in the Indian Ocean ever since and rarely ever addressed in the MCU. But the rumors are true. We will be returning to Tiamat in this movie.
Supercharge your business with the all-new Shopify point of sale, the all-in-one POS.
The fact that it's Japan, though, is noteworthy because in the CinemaCon footage that we saw earlier this year, there was a line from Thaddeus Ross where he credits Sam and Joaquin Torres for recovering the discovery of the Millennium stolen from a Japanese mining site. I speculated that metal could be adamantium and that they will be recovering its raw form from this giant corpse. Maybe after the Japanese refined it, Giancarlo Esposito's character stole it and it was recovered for the Japanese and the Americans by Sam and Joaquin. And that could be why we see Sam with Ross and that Japanese leader later. Geopolitics are going to be realigned by the discovery of adamantium as all these countries are scrambling to get their hands on a valuable, weaponizable metal that would be stronger than Wakandan vibranium. That's why we saw the scenes with Val and Toby Ziegler and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Later shots show Sam and Joaquin both on this mission, and I think that might even be Sam crashing through maybe an American F-22? July is for nerds. There is so much good nerd stuff going on right now between Comic-Con and Deadpool and The Acolyte and House of the Dragon and The Boys, and well, you get the idea. It's hard to keep up, but it's easy to let the world know what you're into with a Nerd Riot idea. July, Toby Ziegler. Might even be Sam crashing through maybe an American F-22? July is for nerds. There is so much good nerd stuff going on right now between Comic-Con and Deadpool and The Acolyte and...
Alright, Deadpool drops Friday. Acolyte, there's a couple episodes out that I've been letting brew. I'm gonna finish those.
House of the Dragon and The Boys.
House of the Dragon I need to finish. The Boys I finished yesterday morning.
And well, you get the idea. It's hard to keep up, but it's easy to let the world know what you're into with a Nerd Riot tee. Acolyte fan, or maybe just they've kind of revised her heroine, no spy, and now a high-ranking government off. It's the best way to support our channel. Now here is a shot of Shira Haas as Ruth Bat Saraf, who this movie is described as a former Black Widow spy and now a high-ranking government official. In the comics, she's an Israeli superheroine named Sabra. I don't know how much they're going to go into that in this movie. I think they've kind of revised her origin story to be one of those Black Widow agents that was part of the network that we saw at the end of the 2016 Black Widow film. In this shot, she's sitting across from someone with a big old trembling arm. I think this might be our first shot of Thaddeus Ross as Red Hulk. She is staring him down, unafraid. Maybe she is the official who gives Ross the serum. So yeah, let's talk about it here. This trailer ends with the money shot of Red Hulk facing down Sam Wilson in Washington, D.C., catching and throwing down his vibranium shield. I love that the trailer just goes ahead to reveal this because it leaked in like McDonald's Happy Meal toys. So we've all basically known. It goes ahead to reveal this because it leaked in like McDonald's Happy Meal toys. So we've all basically known it's gonna happen in this movie. Now it's peak cherry.
I'm not go mad. I would absolutely lose it.
Blossom season here.
That's how
it's
I got
just
spoiled.
Stunning. And this movie's going to release on Valentine's Day. Those will be starting to be in bloom in the DC area. Also, I think that might be a cherry blossom branch in the pot on the table in the blue room when the president meets with Sam at the beginning of the trailer. So I think earlier scenes this way will establish this final showdown. So Thaddeus Ross becomes Red Hulk in the World War Hulk storyline. So Marvel fans have really been expecting Ross to take this step eventually ever since 2008. But why will he become Red Hulk in this movie? Who knows? It could be a move of desperation from a former soldier who wants to handle things himself. Maybe there will be a health issue that Ross was hiding and he takes experimental treatments for. Because in that 2016 Civil War movie, he did hint that he had like a heart stent removed. Later trailer shots show Ross speaking in the garden outside the White House, followed by soldiers firing upwards at something. And then here, a huge part of the White House implodes. Now the official poster art shows a giant Red Hulk hand clutching a Captain America shield and his fingers are starting to bend the vibranium. So we see the importance of needing a sturdier, stronger metal than vibranium, and that's why adamantium is going to be so important. And speaking of...
So it's official. It's just stronger then. See, but then vibranium was just meant to be that. Oh yeah. Oh, that just means if they do end up merging the universes, it'd be clear. I'm locked in.
Speaking of two video game characters just facing down in a cool looking setting, we have this awesome new Choose Your Fighter shirt design that you can get at nerdriot.shop. It's exclusive to new Rockstars and it's really the best.
That's actually dope. Sabretooth, X-23 from the old school movie. Deadpool, Juggernaut, Cyclops, Storm, Colossus, Professor X, Thor, Magneto. What's her name again? Elektra, Miss Minutes, Blade, Daredevil, You're all too blurry for me to figure out.
That's the way you can support what we're doing here. Now, really, this trailer is a mix of CinemaCon footage and new footage shot in recent months in the reshoot. So we also now see Giancarlo Esposito's character. Esposito has hinted that his character will be someone who returns in the Marvel series after this, and Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello, claimed that he is playing G.W. Bridge, or George Washington Bridge, who's a mercenary who does S.H.I.E.L.D. Black Ops missions, but also joins Cable and the group Six Pack. He was originally one of these early 90s figures introduced by Rob Liefeld and Fabiana Chiesa in the lineup of Deadpool, Cable, X-Force comics. You know, he's just someone who always got like a lot of straps and bandoliers and big old guns. So when Giancarlo says he's going to show up in a show after this, it could be someone connected to the world of the X-Men, or just any kind of show where there's arms dealings, and specifically adamantium. So then the shot of Thaddeus Ross presenting in a White House ballroom with screens around him depicting a world map with sites highlighted. There's the US, France, and India with larger blips in them, but then stronger pings that might just be bases or world capitals of allies in this joint mission to recover adamantium and control its use. So we see a little dot on Iceland, on Portugal, and then either the Canary Islands or Madeira off the coast of Morocco there, then Tunisia in Northern Africa, Austria, and then up to Sweden, and then Ukraine.
Don't mention the war.
Afghanistan.
Don't mention the war.
Vietnam.
I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Mongolia and Somalia, and then in a later shot, that's definitely Australia and New Zealand. Now we see cameras, so I assume this is being televised, but I wonder if the bigger sites, like the orange rings, might be the sites where adamantium deposits were found, because Tiamat has been with Earth since as long as humans have been around. So it may just be that Tiamat's emergence is what caused us to discover this metal that's been under our feet all this time. And I've said in a lot of videos before, it is just interesting that Wakandan vibranium came from a meteorite, and that this substance would have come from something from the cosmos. That maybe both vibranium and adamantium were gifts from Marvel's gods of the Celestials to like empower and select Earth to be more fit to survive than other planets would be in the cosmos. Now,
is it legal?
Does it smell?
You don't have to smoke it, do you?
I'm so sorry.
Is it actually?
now when it comes to this presentation,
Give me like 1 minute just to finish off this order. It's actually almost done. Boom, boom. Make a payment. Pow. Oh, I forgot Face ID don't work. But order made. Looks good. Bet.
we later see Sam, Isaiah, and Joaquin at a global unity summit at the White House, and the photographer in the foreground has a green hand. So this must be Samuel Stearns, the leader, and he's posing as immediate personnel to trigger what happens next here. We see Sam sitting with Joaquin, and by the way, Joaquin's played by Danny Ramirez from Top Gun Maverick. He was Sam's US Air Force pilot buddy who becomes Falcon in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they're sitting next to Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly, who we also met in The Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was a former government super soldier, aka the Black Captain America, who was cruelly tortured and imprisoned and covered up by the US government until a nurse took pity on him and helped him break out. At the end of The Falcon Winter Soldier, he seemed to be in a better place. He's taking his grandson Elijah to visit the Captain America exhibit at the Smithsonian, but now, in this movie, something happens here to trigger him into a kind of brainwash, taking a Secret Service agent's gun and firing at the president. And we see how Isaiah still has his enhanced strength. He throws this guy across the room. Now, the CinemaCon footage indicated that this was an audio frequency that plays throughout the room, and it brainwashes him, and that Isaiah won't be the only person affected. Other Secret Service agents will as well, and we see Sam fighting with one of those guys. So it's gonna be a big mess, and we're gonna follow Isaiah through the White House. He leaps through the window of the same room that we saw earlier. So Sam tells Ross in the Situation Room that his inner circle has been compromised, and then we see Sam and Joaquin in a different scene finding a grimy lab with medical equipment, a chair with straps, a gurney with straps, and a red light over it all. So likely this is where they turned Ross into Red Hulk. Now here, this is a part of the reshoot footage where Sam jumps and kicks two guys and rolls to stick the superhero landing. We saw him do this same move in the opening Lagos mission in Captain America Civil War, but there he used his wings to do it. Now he doesn't need his wings. In The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sam did not inject the super soldier serum, but maybe he will inject a version of it in this movie. I mean, he is going up against a Hulk. I feel like he needs it. Then another shot of Samuel Stearns, him like Nelson.
That's another thing I don't want them to do. If there's one thing that I know about Falcon, it's his mind, bro. He uses his mind the same way Tony would use his mind, the same way Ant-Man would use his mind. His mind is one of his greatest fucking abilities. The fact that they've made him not dumb, but like less intelligent in this than how he was in the comics and TV shows, like animated TV shows and stuff, it's like, yeah, you kind of hold him in that regard. So the fact that he's getting a good movie like this gasses me, but I don't know, bro. They're kind of letting him down a bit. So yeah, if you put super soldier serum in him. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of makes him. It doesn't make him weak. Doesn't make him look weak at all. It's just one of them ones where it's like, how far and how much can he do without it? We've only just seen you now. Like, this is the very first movie we're gonna see him use the shield, you know, as he should be. To then give him super soldier serum on top of that, I feel like is low-key plot armor, in my opinion.
Nelson with a bit of green on the back of his head as he says global powers are shifting. He went by Mr. Blue when he was corresponding with Bruce Banner in the 2008 Hulk film, and he's wearing a hat here. I just hope we give him a slightly enlarged head. Please, please, please. Now, often paired with Ruth is actress Hossa Rockmore, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to say that correctly because she's named after the Hossa people of South Africa, and they have a specific consonant sound. Her character is not named
I'm not being rude.
yet, but I wonder if she could be a Dora Milaje embedded with the U.S. government and reporting to the Wakandan government the U.S. attempts to develop adamantium weaponry that they're trying to use to overpower Wakandan vibranium. We do not see Liv Tyler as Betty Ross in this film, but she is confirmed to return, and set photos showed her at a funeral, and we see that funeral in this trailer, and I'm wondering if this is Steve Rogers' funeral, or maybe a ceremonial funeral because they still can't find him, and maybe they're just assuming he's dead. I'm loving all the shots of Sam's new blue suit in this trailer because they're keeping the wings now, and actually they make the wings bigger and like more feathery shaped. Like they really do look like the wings of an eagle. And it's just so cool that Sam can always find his own way to express his patriotism. As he faces Red Hulk in the DC Cherry Blossoms, we see that he has a new version of the drone Red Wing as well to go with his new suit. And the fact that they're using more avian imagery to design his suit almost makes it forgivable that they turned Red Wing into a robot drone. I want Red Wing to be an actual bird like he is in the comics, but it is very cool here to see him breaking the sound barrier in that Tiamat fight over the Indian Ocean because it's like what we saw in the early flights of Iron Man's suit in the first film. This movie is going to rock. Look, I know February 2025 could be a very difficult time for our country, and seeing a drama with a crazy president turning into a Red Hulk, smashing through the White House, might just hit differently at that point. Or this movie could be what like fixes America. It could be the escapism we all need. But announcement, tomorrow we are going to have a very special video on the channel. Many of you have been asking, hey Eric, what X-Men movies do I really need to rewatch before Deadpool and Wolverine? And since that movie might be bringing in characters from Daredevil and Blade and Fantastic Four, do I really need to watch all of those as well? Well, tomorrow's video will be the perfect answer to that question. It's a complete history of all 80 Marvel titles ever since 1998 and what you need to know about them before walking into Deadpool and Wolverine. We worked really hard on this video, and I think you're really gonna love this historical timeline explanation. Comment down below with your favorite part of this trailer. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels on the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Yeah, I heard him. That was crazy. I learned a lot.